Seamore here and welcome back to CY2. So today I'll be showing you my book called Wilderness Seamore's Guide on How to Survive in the Wild, English edition, chapter 1, 2, and 3. And this is a book I just drew myself, and I know I already stopped the Wilderness Seamore series, but I think I want to bring it back. I may or may not be bringing it back, but yeah, this is just a book I made a while ago or something that I just didn't show. So it says limited edition, signed by the real Seamore at the back. Now I already signed this at the back. It says Wilderness Seamore, stay wild. Now if you look all the way at the front, there's some content. And number 1 is predators in the wild, building a shelter, the basics of fire, medical safety, how to identify poop, natural disasters, finding food, and gathering materials. Step 1. Predators in the wild. If you happen to see any wild animals or predators in the jungle or any other terrain, here's how to survive them. Firstly, get naked and cover yourself in mud. Second, if it's a bear, lion, tiger, moose, or deer, etc., pretend you're dead by lying on the ground like this. When it doesn't run away or leave you alone, just stop breathing. If it does walk away or leave you alone, make sure to run as fast as you can. Last but not least, when the animal proceeds to chase you, just keep running and don't look back. I recommend not using this advice because this book is just for fun. Step 2. Building a shelter. Gather materials such as wood, leaves, rocks, etc. Next, lay the sticks in the shape of a tent, like this. Then, if it starts to rain, get in that shelter you just made. If it gets wet or falls apart, find the cave immediately. If you happen to find one, get in immediately. If you couldn't find one, do not hide under the tree. It might fall or lightning might strike you. Instead, you should just dig a tunnel or a small hole and hide in it until the rain stops. Don't forget to cover the hole up and bring a source of light and food. Gathering materials guide on page 8. Step 3. Basics of the fire. First, gather some materials such as wood, logs, stones, rocks, leaves, or dirt. Then, make something that looks like this. After doing so, take 2 sticks and rub them together. You can also use stones. Once you get a spark, be careful not to burn or injure yourself. When it flames, gently put it into your fire. Lastly, warm your hands on the toasty warm fire. Cooking guide on page 10. Step 4. Medical safety. If you ever get hurt, here's how to heal or treat the injury. First, gather some leaves and mud, then rub the mud on the injured spot and put the leaves on the place where you just put the mud. And if you get diseases like Ebola, the Black Plague, Mobius addiction, then you're in luck. Nature's cure can cure anything. It's blurred by the government. Step 5. How to identify excrement, aka poop. To begin with, if you ever see something brown, smelly, rocky, and sticky, it would be most likely poop. Now, here's how you can identify its trappings. First, the first thing you have to do is smell it. If it smells stinky, means it's poop. Yay! Second, if it's big, means it's from a huge animal. Most big animals are big. And if it's a small poop, means it's from a small animal. Step 6. Natural disasters. This may be hard, and you're gonna need a few essentials, such as leaves, rocks, wood, logs, hay, and more. If you have a backpack with things like rope, a flashlight, binoculars, food, water, etc., then you will need to do is make a small but sturdy shelter. However, if you don't have a backpack of those things, you're going to need to make a bigger, sturdier shelter. Shelter guide on page 2. Step 7. Finding food. To find food, you're gonna need to collect these materials. Now put them together like this. Next, throw it at an animal with a 75-degree angle. Then hit the animal like this. Now use the spear that you just made and poke the flesh to see if the animal is dead. If it's dead, keep it warm by placing it near a fire. If it didn't like, keep poking it until it dies. Fire guide on page 3, cooking guide on page 10. Step 8. Gathering materials. It's pretty simple actually. All you need to do is walk around and look closely at the place you're at. For example, you're in the jungle and all you have is yourself. The first thing you see is trees and mud. Now, to get the leaves from the tree, you have to climb the tree to pluck the leaves. But beware, some trees have poison or sharp objects in them. Or worse, animals. Now, to get the mud, just bend down and take some with your hands. Step 9. Hunting. The first thing to do when you hunt is to get a sharp tool that you made on page 13. I recommend using a skewer. Next is to be camouflage on page 15. Then target your animal and slowly, quietly get close to it and poke or stab until it's dead. Step 10. Cooking. To cook, first is that you get 5 sticks or branches. Then set them like this. Once you're done, get a bird's nest and use it as a bowl. Now gather your food for example, fish. Fishing guide on page 11. Fruits, plants or animals. Then cut them with your tools, which the guide is on page 13. Then put it in your bird's nest and get another branch and slightly bend it like this. Next, clip it on the bird's nest. Clip it onto the bird's nest and place it on the thing you just made here. Lastly, make a fire under it. Guide of basics of the fire on page 3. Now, step 11, which is fishing, is not made yet, and step 12 too, and step 13, making tools. To make tools, you have to gather some stones, rocks, branches, or anything that's hard and sturdy. Once you are done, place all the materials you have gathered together, then take one and use another rock or stone to shape it like this. Start shaping it until it makes a nice, unique shape. If you use a branch or twig or stick, it should turn out like this. It should look like a skewer or pencil without lead. And your stick has to be sharp. If it's not, use a stone to sharpen it, so you can poke or kill animals. Gathering materials preference on page 8. Now, step 14, which is climbing, is not made yet. So is step 15, camouflage. And that's all. So that's pretty much it. We'll see you tomorrow on the next video. Bye bye.